What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Fight Out podcast with Alan Mike. Today we're going through the aftermath of UFC 308. Ilia got a big win. Khamzat got a big win. It was a good card. It was UK time, and it was a joy to watch. Michael, we'll dive in at the main event. Start talking about Ilia and Max and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone knows how it went. I think you're similar to me with how we scored it going into the third round. We both had it 1-1. Seeing the judges' scorecards, they both had, all of them had a 2-0 Ilia, I believe. He's impressive, isn't he?
Yeah, he's outstanding. Like, I think the only argument you could maybe have for sort of Ilia winning the first round was I think he ended the round on his back. So obviously, if it's a close round and you end up on his back at the end, maybe the judges have scored it that way. But I seen it as 1-1 me going into the third, and then he's just vicious, isn't he? Once he gets going, he's just vicious, and he's just smells a finish a mile off.
Yeah, there's not many that smell a finish like him. Like the second he got Max hit, like where Max stumbled, which I couldn't say it. Poirier done it once, didn't he, in their first fight, but he didn't quite stumble like that. He just you could tell it was like a bit of a flash behind the eyes kind of thing.
Yeah.
With that, once I seen him stumble, I was texting our mate Johnny and I just said, like, this is over. There's no way he's not going to finish him now with how vicious he is.
Yeah, I think what Max is really good at, people say Max doesn't get hurt. What Max is really good at is hiding when he's hurt, but he couldn't hide it on Saturday night. There's no hiding that.
Yeah, he got it hiding instead.
Yeah.
But, it was a sad night, like seeing Max and Rob both get finished, but it's the start of a new era, really, at featherweight. And I mean, if I'm Volkanovski, I take up golf.
Yeah, I've seen something on Twitter. I've seen like a comparison of Ilia's 15th fight versus Khabib's 15th fight. And like, it's ridiculous the level that Ilia's operating at. 15 fights in, he's only 27. It's absolutely ridiculous the level he's operating at.
No, it was mad though. I was thinking the other day, you find that there's young champions at featherweight. Like, because Conor was 27, Ilia's 27. I reckon Max must have been 27, maybe 28 when he was. Volk was slightly older, wasn't he? Aldo came from young.
Aldo would have had the belt from a young age, wouldn't he? Aldo had the belt 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah,
and he's only about 38 now. Yeah, so
you get young champions at featherweight. I mean, I've never looked into it.
Yeah.
Maybe bantamweight is another weight that you could compare it to, but you usually find that it's a young man's game, featherweight.
It's probably smaller. There's still lower weights in it because people probably grow them weight classes, don't they, as they get a bit. That's why lightweight's so stacked, because once fellas get to like the later 20s, that's when they've filled out and they all go up to lightweight then and beyond maybe. But
yeah,
if I was a featherweight now, I'd be trying to go to lightweight. I do not want that smoke with Ilia.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if I'm Volk, I take up golf. If I'm the only one Diego Lopez will get in there with anyone. I know there's talk of it interim featherweight title with Volk and Lopez, that I think Volk is kind of saying he'd do it if it was on the Sydney card. If Ilia wants to take a little bit of time off, and then he'll fight Ilia in Spain. I actually quite like that Lopez Volk fight, to be fair. But looking further down the division, can't really see anyone who challenges Ilia at the minute.
The only one who I think stylistically quite a good matchup, but it doesn't make sense because he's kind of been beaten by the upper echelons of the division every time he's fought them. But Yair Rodriguez is a good matchup. Really good matchup. But as you say, he's been beat by all the top level operators at that division. So they've all got a bit of skin in the game before him. So
yeah. I mean, I just want to give a very special shout out, to be fair, to Lawrence Deos 3481, mate. Called us both idiots. Said we're absolutely full of shit because Ilia was going to get badly beaten. And I just want to know what his thoughts are now. I'd love him to let us know in the comments.
That's 5 out of 5, 2 weeks on the run for me. Yeah. So I'm getting after it, mate. I'm going to start betting on the thing properly. Big money.
Yeah. Two of us nailed it this week. The only one that actually let me bet on is I had Ilia decision, which, to be honest, it looked like it was heading that way, and just until it went, until he just absolutely shut his lights out. Like,
I don't think I'd ever bet on Ilia decision just with that one punch power that he's got.
Yeah, I absolutely wouldn't now.
Yeah, I think you were betting more on Max surviving, weren't you?
Yeah.
I think I was out on Saturday having a few scoops, like, and I texted in the group chat, didn't I, just before the Khamzat fight, saying I've seen something Khamzat early sub and Ilia late knockout. Now, it was third round, so it's not late. I fancied fourth or fifth, but I must have just seen something. The Guinness made me see something.
I mean, we're on the ball here, like nailing some good decisions. Some good predictions, which sees us nicely into the Khamzat fight. I mean, we both done a podcast a few weeks ago saying that we'll never doubt Dricus Du Plessis again, but him versus Khamzat's a nasty fight,
Mate, Khamzat is just unbelievable.
You know what's weird? I mean, you can't look too much into the ring walk and stuff like that, anyway. But he just didn't look himself. He was way too calm, and I still fancied him all the way. I'd done him sub myself, but I was looking at him thinking he could potentially be a little bit different here. It might be like a long night for him kind of thing. I still thought he'd get the win, but wow.
That style he's got, it's almost like, obviously it's very different fighting styles, but in terms of tenacity, it's almost like Conor's style, where it's like blitz fighting, he wants to get you out of there quick. Obviously, is his grapple heavy rather than striking heavy, but Khamzat's going there for 3 or 4 minutes of work. He doesn't want to go beyond that. He gets in and he's trying to finish it from the start.
I think everyone seems to underestimate how big he is as well.
Yeah.
He was well bigger than Rob, well bigger. Yeah. Considering he can't, I know Rob was also a welterweight once upon a time, but he's been a middleweight now for years, Whittaker, and Khamzat he was much bigger than him, towered him,
and clearly
underestimate that.
He's quite clearly a lot stronger than him. Mate, he snapped his jaw with a squeeze. I think Cormier said it on commentary. I think Cormier said every time he sees Khamzat fight week and in the build up to fight, he said he can't believe how strong he is. And he's only he's probably walking around at 200 before he weighs in. The week before, probably cuts 10 or 15 pounds maybe. So he's not even at full strength. And Cormier can't believe the strength of him. Mate, you could see that on Saturday night. Yeah. I've never seen anything like it. When Rob tapped, I was like, wasn't even in.
Yeah.
And he got up and he put signal to his coach, and I was like, oh my God, he's got no teeth.
No, it was. I mean, dominance from Rob. Dominance from Khamzat. And ended up being dominance from Ilia in what was actually quite a close fight up until that point. I mean, Max summed it up, didn't he? He said it felt good until it didn't.
Yeah, he was. And you'll get that against Ilia, you will get that. Yeah. Max had really good moments. Max is a crisp striker. He landed some good shots. I think in the first round for me, Max outstruck him.
Yeah.
And then second round, Ilia came into it a little bit more. Ilia just starts every round so strong, so fast.
Yeah. I felt like Max's tactic a little bit was let Ilia do that. Don't let him start the round because he done it in round one.
Yeah.
As the round was going on, Max was getting his time and going. And then I mean, like I said, I had it 1-1 in terms of rounds. In round two, I think it was when he started doing his spinning back kicks again, the one that he broke KG's nose with. I thought Max is getting comfy in here. This could be a bit of a war. And then even round three, they were both looking good. And then, like you say, Ilia hit him at the right and then put him out with the left. But
you can't buy that power. If you've got that type of power, you've got to be conscious of that for 5 rounds straight. And Ilia didn't really have to be conscious of that with Max. Max might TKO people with an accumulation of shots, but he's not going to shut your lights out like Ilia can.
It's funny because with Ilia now, I just want to see him in there against durable strikers. That's all I want to see, just to see how many people can he knock out. Seen Poirier treat after it, and I thought, there's no way you can get that fight. You haven't got the BMF belt, you haven't got the lightweight belt, you can't cut to featherweight no more. But lad, I'd love to see Ilia v Poirier.
Do you think he goes up? Do you think at some point he goes up to lightweight?
Ilia? Yeah. I think he does. I mean, do you know when he's talking about 3 belts?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know him. He's not the biggest fella in the world, is he? He looks like he could cut a little bit. He didn't look as Max on the scale, put it that way. He could potentially cut to bantamweight when he's talking about 3 belts. I know he's talking to Bilal, but I don't see a world where he goes up to 170, to be honest.
There's no, I can't go up there. I think lightweight's a stretch for him. He can't go up to 70. But
he's fought a lightweight, and he's a similar size to Volk. He's a little bit tighter, Volk's a bit broader. And Volk went up to lightweight and give Islam a good go in that first fight. Islam's a lot better now, but there's definitely interest there. But regardless of weights or nothing, I just want to see him fight Poirier, even though he never will.
Yeah, I seen calls for the Islam fight, and I'd love to watch it. I'd want Topuria. I want Ilia to be a little bit bigger if he fights Islam. I just feel like he's a little bit too small.
I think as a style he possesses threats, like, because he is a very good grappler and he is a very, very good striker, which you'd say the same about Islam, whether you think Islam's strengths are more in each department, whatever. Like you're saying, the size is a problem. And I don't mean to sound like Dana here. I just want to see him do more of featherweight first.
So I agree.
Get a belt and get right up there. Like,
yeah.
Volk had cleared out featherweight. Conor had cleared out featherweight on the way to the belt. And obviously he talked about the 2 belts all the way up anyway. I hate all this, I'll get a belt and now I'm going to go straight up. Like, he's got 2 contenders to clear out for me.
There's definitely a couple of fighters sort of in that, between that 1 and 10 who we'd like to see him fight first before he goes up. Namely, Diogo Lopez is a good matchup in it. So
there's one that I would like to see that's obviously on the way up at the minute. I'd like to see him against Aljo.
Yeah.
Wrestling style. Give him a little test against that. And then, okay, so let's say he gets the Volk rematch. Let's say he fights Lopez and then he has an Aljo fight and wins it.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that's a good resume. That's enough for me where you can go, okay.
Yeah. You've got that mob side as well, I suppose, haven't you?
Yeah.
Was touted to fight Aljo and Aljo had to unfortunately pull out. So there's definitely names there that he needs to fight before he goes up, but all credit to him on the weekend's performance.
Yeah. And then for Max, for me, I'd like to see Max at lightweight against the right kind of person for now to get his...
Yeah.
I know he fought Gaethje, but get his toes wet again. And then, see where he lands there. I think at featherweight now, what's the reason for him to put anymore? He's just lost the title shot. He's not going to get another one instantly.
Yeah, well, with Max, I think I seen a tweet and it kind of pointed in the direction for me that he was going to lightweight. He sort of was pointing in the direction of like a bit of a change in career path, and I think now you will see him at lightweight. He's not going to get that rematch straight away. If Volk gets the rematch and gets the belt back, do we want to see Holloway Volk again? Like, do you know what I mean? The route back to the featherweight title's tough for him.
Yeah.
Not saying he can't get there because he's overcome some adversity in his career, but I think the route to sort of a lightweight title shot or fighting for in these BNF fights is the route that Max will take now. Yeah,
I completely agree. Like, I mean, to be honest, in his post-fight press conference as well, he even said lightweight looks quite good for me now.
Yeah.
So I think he kind of knows. But in terms of an opponent, tough one. I mean, he's currently ranked 8th, isn't he? Like, is there a world where we can see a Paddy v Max one day?
And when we were literally shouting future fights there, I had in the back of my head, Paddy Holloway.
Yeah, I'm
imagining Holloway's going to have 6 months out or whatever.
Yeah, he said he's looking to come back on the, I think he said the big July card next year, so that's even more.
So he's taking 8-9 months out, which I think is a good decision.
He's big on brain health, isn't he? So he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I think I'm guessing Paddy wants to go again soon. Beginning of next year or something.
I seen on Saturday that Moicano Paddy's verbally agreed. But
was that for 312? Was that? Did I see that?
Yeah, but no one's really reported it since, so I don't know if it was just...
Yeah, I seen that tweet. I think it was for 312. I'm not sure what date that is.
Yeah, well, 309's Jones in November.
Yeah, so January maybe something.
You're probably talking March, aren't you?
I think, yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. And then I'll be honest, like going back to Khamzat, I think he might be jumping the queue, I think Strickland might be getting sent to the side, like.
Mate, Khamzat's fighting for the belt. Simple. You can't.
Because Du Plessis game for that Sydney card as well, isn't he? In Feb.
Yeah.
Khamzat took no damage. Sean Strickland doesn't want to fight outside the US for his next fight. But Du Plessis and Khamzat in Sydney, if Volk's not the... if Volk doesn't fancy it, or Ilia and Volk are fighting in Spain or whatever.
100%. Khamzat's got to fight for the belt. You can't have a world where, like, Umar was number 10 fighting Sandhagen number 2. He beat him in his next for the belt, but he beat him in a close fight, let's be honest. Khamzat can't be number 13 or whatever he was, fight number 3. Absolutely maul him and not get the title shot.
Yeah.
If you set a standard, you've kind of got to live to it. I wouldn't be gutted seeing Khamzat have one more, but I think he does fight for the belt.
Yeah, I think his next fight's for the belt. Definitely. Even, to be honest, even if Strickland was next, I still think Khamzat would be the
wait out for the. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, there's no like clear challenger is there in that division at the moment, like outstanding one. Strickland's already had to go with Dricus, like Adesanya's like not going to get a title shot. You've got a couple behind like Bahayo and stuff who are sort of climbing, but they need one more. So I think Khamzat's had a good win at a good time, and I think he'll get a title shot.
Yeah, I agree. I'd love to see Bahayo Adesanya still, to be honest. I'd love to see that fight.
And I'll be honest, I look through the division, and I know I'm a bit of a Khamzat fanboy, but I just don't see anyone causing him trouble.
Now, what the thing is, someone put a tweet out on Saturday and was saying, how excited would you be right now if Pereira was still 185 champ and Khamzat had done that to Rob?
Mate.
That's such an interesting fight of two opposing styles.
Yeah.
Like, realistic. I know Gilbert Burns hit him with that jab, but it was a bit of a mad one and he was tired and that. Like, never really seen Khamzat hit properly. Never really seen Pereira face someone who can wrestle like Khamzat. But never really. We haven't. Like, that's just such a... I don't
think there is. I don't think there is anyone who can wrestle like Khamzat. I honestly don't.
The only close one is Khabib, in it, the way Khabib was, where it's just relentless. Even Kham, like you're saying, Khabib was more like methodical. Like Khamzat's just intense straight away.
Well, for me, Khabib would throw like shitty strikes to get close. Khamzat just shoots from the other side of the octagon. Just runs and shoots.
It was funny because on Saturday he stood there for like probably 30 seconds, 40 seconds maybe, and like let Rob throw a few leg kicks, and it was like he just done it for the sake of it, and then he just went, I'm going to shoot now.
He just like throws a few feints and then just shoots in and is relentless. You just won't let go of your leg.
It's so funny as well because like usually MMA fans, and I'll be honest, I'm a bit of one of them, where you hate that wrestling heavy style because it's usually boring. Khamzat is exciting because he's so fast with it and so relentless with it.
That's what it is. And I touched on this on the podcast, the pre-fight show. Like, it's not your Merab or your Bilal style wrestling. Yeah. It's not point wrestling. It's finish wrestling. Every movement is for a finish, and it's totally different. It's like if you've got two strikers and one's just jab, 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 touch, 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 like Strickland, and then one's like Pereira. Every shot is to kill you.
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely mad. But exciting for him now. The next fight, like I said, I think it's for the belt. Whether he's next for the belt, I don't know. But I'd be surprised if he isn't. But even if he isn't, I think his next fight is for the belt.
Yeah, I just hope he's over all them illnesses and stuff, and he can we can have 3 fights from him next year. Because
I felt like this was the test because he had all the doctors around him, didn't he? All fight week and everything.
Yeah.
But he brought in that Olympic wrestler, and then he brought in that coach where he just went out on his own. He had doctors around him all the time, and that.
Yeah.
I feel like this was like the test of how do we actually do this? Where we get to the fight.
Yeah. Well, mate, I hope that's it now, and he has a. Like McGregor was saying, I hope he has a season next year, 3 fights next year.
Lovely stuff. And then moving into the fight before, then also with title implications, Ankalaev against Rakic. I mean, we were speaking about it before. It weren't the most exciting fight, was it? Let's be honest.
No.
It's just kind of what you'd expected. But I was arguing with people on Twitter on Saturday night because I tweeted that Ankalaev's got to have a title shot next because there's no one else for him to fight.
Yeah.
They're saying, no, he's boring and stuff like that. But how can you not give him a title shot? Even though I'm not saying the fight was a barn burner, how can you not give him one?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you set your stall out, don't you? You can't say he doesn't get a title shot because he's a boring fighter. Like, you've got Bilal and Merab champions of their divisions. So I think Ankalaev's just going to have to keep chaining away until he gets his title shot. And can he beat Pereira? Yeah, he can. If he implements the right game plan, yes, he can. Will he? I don't know. I want to see it. But you can't just say someone's... As fight versus Blachowicz, for me, Dana put that fight on blast and basically kicked Ankalaev to the curb. I thought it was quite exciting. Both his legs were blown out, so he had to grapple. I thought it was quite an exciting fight, to be honest.
I didn't think it was anywhere near as bad as Dana made out. Like,
wasn't?
Nowhere near. I think he had a problem, didn't he? Because it kind of messed up like the division and stuff.
Yeah, there was loads of jeopardy in the fight. Every time he stood up, it looked like Ankalaev could get stopped with leg kicks, and then he just kept taking him down. There was major jeopardy. I didn't see the issue with that. Now this fight on Saturday probably was a little bit more boring than that one, but he got this name of being a boring fighter from that Blachowicz fight, which I think was quite unjust.
Yeah.
Once you get that name, it's hard to shake it, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. there's literally not a lot for me to say on the fight. Like Ankalaev won comfortably.
Yeah.
And for me, he's got to fight for the title. There's no other fight I could even think of to try and have a little chat with you where I go, oh yeah, give him in again. Or like even Blachowicz again. Like it's just pointless. It's just delaying an inevitable title shot. Give him the title shot. See how he gets on. Go from there.
Mate, Alex is moving through that division like they're just tin cans in his way. So he's gonna have to fight every comer. And stylistically, this is a tough matchup for him. So why would you not want to see it?
He doesn't want to slow down either. His coach,
no.
Like he'll probably fight 4 times next year, Alex. Again.
What is he? Post on like 38.
Yeah, he's getting on a bit, isn't he?
You're getting a year or 2 max of activity out of him. Give him everyone. Give him everyone and anyone.
Yeah.
Give him Ankalaev, and then if he wants to go and fight, if he wins and he wants to go and fight Aspinall or whatever, give him it.
Yeah, that is the fight. But surprisingly, I watched Dana's post-fight press conference now that you mentioned Aspinall, and he was talking about John Jones and obviously Francis and all that, and the reporter was basically saying, you know, if you really hate Francis that much and you basically say that only one person will ever walk out of the room and it's John Jones, why don't you feed John Jones Francis?
I've seen that.
Fight? And Dana said, nah, there's only one person who deserves the fight and it's Tom Aspinall. And that's the first time I've ever heard him say that, which says to me that Dana believes John Jones isn't retiring, or he's just playing chess while we're all playing checkers to try and build a bit of excitement.
I would go for the latter of the two. I think when Dana doesn't like someone, like he really obviously doesn't like Francis, he'll say anything about anyone else to make them feel better, just to shit on Francis. Mate, some of the stuff he said about Francis, I thought was pretty awful with the year Francis has had. Like,
yeah, he's saying there's he'll tell us the story one day, Ernie, and stuff like that. But I don't know. He's gone on Francis clearly, like he goes off people and then just bombed them basically, and now he's nothing to do with
it. There's a contingent of fighters who he's done this with over the years, and obviously some of them probably maybe are problematic, but I can't see Francis as being that problematic. And at the time, I never thought Tyron Woodley deserved the treatment he got, and people like that. So Dana has a bit of a tendency to do it.
The thing is, when you're saying problematic, let's say he was. There's no fighters that are more, and I know the bigger stars that get that plays into it, but there's no fighters that are more problematic than John Jones and Conor McGregor.
Yeah,
they've caused Dana more headaches than
his
own kids and wife could have combined.
John Jones, massively so. Yeah, massively so.
I think I've got no evidence whatsoever. I've just got a sneaky feeling one day it's going to come out when it's all said and done that McGregor, this whole period with McGregor has got something else bigger play. Don't know if it's charges or something, but the fact that he's not fighting just doesn't make sense if the story that they're feeding us is true.
Yeah.
2 fights contract, back in the testing pool. What else can stop him? I know they've got to get money together to promote him, but let's be honest, if they give it 3 months, he could be fighting in January. He could have been fighting in December. Yeah. It just doesn't make sense. I feel like there's got to be something else at play. That's quite big.
When they're crying out as well for like sort of a pay-per-view star, they've wheeled Poulton out 4 times this year just to save a card. So it does make you wonder.
When did Ilia fight Volk?
Was
it last year?
No, it was this year, wasn't it? That
day. Twice in this year.
Yeah, because I seen for Fighter of the Year, they had sort of Pereira's versus Ilia's, and Ilia's stopped Volk and Max, and then obviously Poulton's had his. I think he had 3 wins. He's had 4 fights in like 15 months, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's had 3 good stoppages this year, but against probably lesser caliber fighter than I would say Max and Volk are.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a tough debate, that, isn't it?
It's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would probably edge towards Poulton.
Yeah, Alex is rolling through people and fighting more often.
Yeah.
Ilia's stopped. She was the absolute best ever in that division.
And that's the argument, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you can only beat who's in front of you.
Yeah. I mean, you had the shout that you said earlier, they'll go down as the best featherweight of all time in 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, if he beats Volk, is he not there already?
Yeah, if he's beat Max, he's beat Volk. If Volk has a rematch, he beats him and he puts away one of the young up and comers like a Diego Lopez or a Movsar. He already might beat it.
Yeah,
it's just body of work, isn't it? Like
that, what he's done there. And I mean, I'd say it's similar to a McGregor run. and he's been beating them while he's champ, whereas McGregor beat them like kind of thing.
I think the thing with Ilia for me was his rise to the belt. The wins weren't huge names worthy.
Yeah, no, exactly.
He obviously beat Josh Emmett in his title eliminator. Fight before that was Bryce Mitchell, was it?
Yeah.
And then before that was it? Who was before that?
It was Jair.
Was that Jair at lightweight? Yeah. So it's funny to think back in it. That Jair fight was the week Paddy was calling him hand sanitizer boy, and now he's the pay-per-view star of the UFC. Like
I was there. I was at that event.
Yeah.
Everyone in there hated Ilia.
Yeah.
I knew who he was before it, but he was kind of still a grappler then. And like I'd seen like his last fights and stuff, but I didn't know loads about him. I remember thinking, like, him against Paddy's like a boss fight.
Yeah.
Looking at it now, thinking there's levels there, to be fair, when now Ilia's a world champion, Paddy's coming into the rankings. That fight, in my opinion, probably would have been 2 months too soon at that time.
Yeah.
Whether down the line, meet up and do stuff like that, I don't know. But at that time, it probably would have been 2 months too soon, and going into it, we knew nothing about Ilia.
Yeah, mate, I'm going to be honest, like, if I'm Paddy, I'm staying clear of that one. I want nothing to do with that. I back Paddy all the way, but I want nothing to do with him. You both change lanes now. Don't come back together.
I don't think there's a way in which they do, unless somehow gets the belt at lightweight like very soon. I mean,
yeah, I can't see it. I think
because otherwise, I don't think Ilia is going to be around for 10 more years or not. I'm mad. Like,
no, I don't.
He's going to clear out the division. He'll move up, try for another couple of belts. I reckon that'll be him. I reckon he could be off by 30, 31 like McGregor was.
Yeah, I don't think he's stupid where he'll go up and win. If say he goes up and wins the lightweight belt, I don't think he'll stay there and fight all comers at lightweight because they're big men. I think he'll bide his time, wait for Islam to go. When the lightweight belt's a bit easier to win, he'll fight and win that and then go back down.
Yeah. What Volk said he was going to do, wasn't
it? Yeah.
Well, focusing back on this card as well, obviously UK boy Lerone Murphy got the win. I thought he done very well to come back from being dropped in that first round. Like, he was dropped bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
I had it just 2-1. It was funny because I was on Twitter following Henry Cejudo's tweets, and literally everything Henry said, I thought the opposite. So, like, he had Ige 2-1, which I didn't. He had, he also had, I can't remember now what else he had. He had something else. I think he had Ilia 2-0 going into the third, which I didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, this is madness, because quite a few fighters were saying what Henry was saying, and quite a few, like, non-fighters and reporters and that were kind of saying what I was saying. I was like, there must be a difference when you fight, how you view the fight.
Yeah. Suppose maybe they're looking at it from like positions they wouldn't want to be in and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've only caught the highlights of this fight because, as I say, I was out on Saturday, so I've watched like the main 3 fights back, but I've only seen the highlights of this, and to me, on a brief watch, it looked like Lerone Murphy got the win, and the right man got his hand raised, but it was a close fight nonetheless.
Looked like Dan Ige gassed to me. Just like halfway through the second round, which is a bit bizarre. But yeah, not a lot to say. I mean, Lerone Murphy now, you've got to be giving him top 10. I think a top 10 is a nice ranked opponent.
Yeah.
Give him a little test, see where he falls into it.
Yeah.
And the first fight of the main card with one of the naughtiest knockouts ever. But I feel like everyone would be talking about this knockout so much more if Max hadn't absolutely whole-axed Gaethje in that last second. But shot a bullet, like, he looked good again, and Petrosian is decent as well.
Yeah, I think I don't want to like harp on like I'm some genius, but I think on the pre-fight show I did say when someone comes to win against Shara, I can see him getting a stunning KO. The last couple of fights Shara's had, it's kind of like a late notice fight, people going in there just trying to survive against this boogeyman from out in the Middle East who only fights out there and just going to survive. And I think Petrosian went with a plan to actually win, and Macy just got poleaxed.
Yeah. You've got to get him over to the US now. I know we were speaking about it Saturday.
Yeah.
Dana touched on it as well in the post-fight press conference, to be fair. Like I said, there's defo a Utah or something that'll commission him to fight. Like, I don't think Vegas or New York or anyone will, to be fair.
Yeah.
You can definitely get a commission that will. And I think now you've got to get him over to try and sort of build that star, because he's a beast.
Yeah.
There that no one really knows much about and no one really sees much of. We just see him absolutely poleaxe on people.
Yeah.
But
Do you know what? Like it's, as you say, like his last couple of fights have been. He's so technical. He's great to watch, of course. But I think like his last couple of fights have been like a bit stagnant and sort of maybe he has lost a bit of the hype he had. But mate, it's all come straight back on that knockout. Like
yeah, I agree. I think like he's stepping up in the competition. Obviously, you don't know how good he is. Like right now, it was a bit like Khamzat when he was on the rise, and you're like,
yeah,
but let's see how he does against him and stuff like that. Like I feel like Sharon X need that big fight, not necessarily a top 5 or something, but give him someone where you go, okay, yeah, we know where he's at now.
I mean, I think did I see was that real? Did I see he called out Adesanya?
Yeah, he called out Adesanya. Yeah,
That's a bit mad. Like that's a bit of a crazy call out. But I mean, I'd certainly watch it. But I think he gets.
I don't think he's getting that.
No.
If Adesanya's coming back, I think it's something that's getting him excited. I can't see Shara getting him excited, to be fair, from his point of view, and he's saying that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Ohio, I think that might do, because it's kind of got sort of title implications if Adesanya's looking at maybe getting another title shot. Like, if Kyle beats him, he'll fight for the title. If Izzy, Kyle, I don't know if Izzy does, but it puts him right back in that mix, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
It's interesting, mate, and it's as I've touched on before. I think that's a division that certainly needs some names, and with these young fighters now that are sort of building a name for themselves, it could get a lot more interesting in the years to come. But I think he's definitely someone who'll be in the top 10 there or thereabouts very soon.
Yeah. Well, that wraps up the main card. Like, in terms of what we're wanting to see next or big takeaways, I mean, there's the two obvious ones that we've talked a lot about. Khamzat absolutely rolling Rob, getting him out of there quick, sharp. Ilia knocking Max out when no one ever has. As like, what you'd want to see next. What's coming out of that? What's the big one for you? You're like, yeah, this is it.
The big, glaringly obvious one for me, staring you right in the face, is Khamzat Dricus. I think that's like enormous, and we've said countless times now since his win against Izzy that we're not going to sort of count out Dricus Du Plessis again. But I'd be shocked if Khamzat's not the betting favourite.
It's like marinating. Obviously today's Monday, the card is Saturday.
Yeah.
It's marinating a bit, and I'm like, okay, yeah, like how is that matchup going to go?
Yeah.
But everything in me still saying Khamzat, and I'm like, I need to knock out Dricus ever again.
Dricus finds a way, and I don't necessarily think it'd be an easy night's work, but I don't know how you stop Khamzat when he's in that form. Maybe you catch him on an off night and you beat him. When he's on the form, he was on against Rob. Rob couldn't get his leg free or anything. It's impossible.
Yeah, I mean, to contradict what we were both just talking about with Ilia, is there a world where Khamzat wins this 85 strap and then goes up to 205 and fights Pereira?
Of course there is, yeah. Of course there is. When you've got if he goes and dominates Dricus like he did to Rob, wins the belt, he gets whatever he wants. He gets whatever fight he wants, doesn't he? There's only so many times you can.
He would have fought then what? So he fought Gerald Meerschaft at middleweight. He fought Rob at middleweight. He fought Kevin Holland at a madweight, didn't he? A catchweight. Like, he'd probably only
catchweight. Li Jingliang was that welterweight.
Yeah.
Li Jing at welterweight.
He's had another one at middleweight somewhere. I can't remember who it was now. But he would have had 3 or 4 at middleweight, and then.
Well, Usman was at middleweight, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, Usman it was. Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, look, the big wins. The purist in me saying I'd like to see him fight a couple more at middleweight, but when you've got a super fight like that is a little bit different. That is a super fight for me. Pereira beating everybody, Khamzat beating everybody.
Yeah, that's also a super fight where, like, that Potan's not going to be around for long, and it's a super. You get a lot of these like super fights down at like the 55-70 or 45-55, where the weights are like quite close. But I don't know if you remember back in the day, we always had like George St. Pierre and Anderson Silva competing at really close weight, and they never fought each other, and they were big men, and it was a scary fight it was a scary fight to think about, and that could be that. Khamzat versus Potan could be that.
I feel like the next biggest fight is like a 185 against 205 or a 170 against the like champions talking about.
Yeah,
like McGregor could be way out in front with the pay-per-views, and all the ones after it are McGregor as well. I know there's a couple that have, worked their way in and stuff. But out of the top 10, I think McGregor's got 8 of the money.
Yeah.
And the other ones that are actually in there have got the same amount of pay-per-view buys as other McGregor cards. They're just in there, like, because they want them to be in there, basically. I think the next big pay-per-view to break it is one of them bigger crossover double weight fights.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be. Or a cross promotion in Ngannou versus Jones, something like that. But I don't see where they're
not saying it. I don't see us getting that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, well, that wraps up this week. I just want to say thanks to, we've gotten a few comments, a bit of interaction on Twitter and stuff like that, people. We actually had a few nice comments saying up the hours and stuff like that. So thanks very much for watching, commenting. If you like what you see, don't forget to like and subscribe. Give us a comment down below if you agree with us, and then we'll see you next time.
Cheers.